Okay. So we all have a unique mission and a unique moment to do it. And we are here in this generation, not coincidence, okay? Our souls were brought down here for a unique mission in this unique time. In this unique time, I would say the biggest thing that defines this unique generation is temptation, is the distraction. It's like technology in a way made our life easier, but also very much distracted us and took us away a little bit from home. So I think discovering what your mission is doing home work, is going back home, going back inside, you know? And it's much more challenging, but in a way it's going to be a lot more rewarding. Like 3-4 generations ago, my grandmother in Poland, her biggest thing for the day was she would have to wash her sheets probably in the river, you know? There was no shout, there's no washing machine, no dryer, right? So like that's her mission, like to accomplish laundry that day, you know? Raise her children. Right? We're in a completely different generation. We want more, we aspire for more. There's a hunger for knowledge, and it's not a coincidence that we're down here in this time. This is time that we know that we're here before redemption, so it's very important that as spies that we're given basically our what does it mean to be a spy, right? We were given a soul. We were given all the tools, which is our body, our surrounding, our family. It's not coincidence, by the way, that you got that specific mother-in-law and that specific mother and that specific husband and that annoying kid or that wonderful, you know, Baruch Hashem, right? Those are all things to help you complete your mission in order for you to reach perfection, okay? So at this point, I'm going to give it over to my friend Sara, and we're going to uncover, we kind of understand that we have a unique mission, and I want to use the word in Hebrew is called Yeud. Milishon Ya'ad. Ya'ad is destination. Okay? Your destiny has to do with your destination, where you're heading towards, right? And I just want to make, so what's this whole idea? It's very like scary. Like I could go up to heaven and be a good person, have completed everything, and they say, no, you really didn't complete your unique Torah that you could have given to the world, your unique gift, you know? So that's, it shouldn't be frightening to us. It should be exciting in the sense like, wow, I have a unique mission that no one else can fulfill, a gift that I could give to the world that no one else can, right? So it's important that I discover it, okay?
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to give, I guess, some other examples, and I think it helps to lead into it. So there's, Rabbi gives the example of a kingdom and how there's the king, and everyone in the kingdom has a different job. There's the baker, and there's the gardener, and the wagon driver. And so it's like the wagon driver, he needs his horse and his carriage. The baker needs, his cooking pans and his bread. And the gardener needs his, I don't know if I don't garden, right? His gardening tools. Gardening tools to be able to, grow the flowers and everything. So it's like, if one person was given the opposite tools, they wouldn't be able to do their mission. And every person needs, the king is chosen. You are the best gardener. I see that potential in you. So these are the tools that I'm giving you, and you can grow the most beautiful flowers, and you could bake the most beautiful bread, and you could, steer the horse in the best way. So we're all all of the strengths. I'm going to qualify it a little bit, because you can have a strength that, let's say you're very good at organizing things, but you don't get any enjoyment out of organizing something. So that's not a mission for you necessarily. That's just the gift that you were given. So it has to be it also doesn't have to be necessarily a gift. It really, what it determines is that the passion that you feel towards that specific activity. That's like a Geiger counter. There's a Geiger counter is what measures radiation in something. So if I was watching a YouTube, I was interested, whatever. So it was this little machine, and then they put a rock here, and if it has radiation, then the machine's beep beep beep, and that's okay, cool. That experience is, let's say we're gonna call it a Yeud experience, where a different rock, a different experience comes into your life, and it doesn't beep at all. There's no radioactivity there. Like, it doesn't beep for you. It doesn't connect. So every person has a different internal, like, Geiger counter inside of them. And, like, going through life, you could pick up, like, wow, that certain conversation with that friend really, like, sparked something inside of me, or that
inspired me, or
yeah,
a light went on. We've had, I'm interjecting,
yeah, no,
I'm
go
sorry,
ahead.
because
No,
I
I'm
forgot
happy.
something
Yeah, go.
important. And I'm very passionate about this. A part of it, I'm very, like, like, I'm very, yeah, I'm excited. So I'm a little bit, like, scattered brain tonight, but it will come. And it's something because I'm very passionate about it. Because something very exciting about a Yeud, when you're involved and you figure out your Yeud, you are on fire. It's something you could do all day long. It's like a scientist that is very passionate about discovering a cure for something. He could be in the lab all day. He doesn't realize he has a wife and kids and this and that. So you're talking about that Yeud experience, that vibration, and we're going to do an exercise later for you to find out those Yeud moments. That's going to give you a little bit of indication of what your Yeud is, right?
Do you want to tell that story of that bubble, like that doctor? I don't know, I found it so inspiring.
Yeah, with the bubble doctor?
Yeah, I feel like it's a good example.
Okay, so recently a very special doctor, Dr. Sara, died at 82 years old. He was known as the doctor of the bubble boy. There was a boy in the 80s that was born with no immune system, and it was so sad. His whole life he never had human contact. They had to build a special bubble for him, and he was like in a complete sterile environment, and like they'd have to like put the food there for him, and he never really hugged and touched his mom. Like, he could die from exposure to the environment. So Dr. Sara was his doctor and kept him alive for many, many years. And then it was so sad, they figured out, by the way, this kind of disease is genetic disease that kids don't die from it these days because they do bone marrow transplant. They basically give him a new immune system. And he got a transplant, and someone had Epstein-Barr virus. That virus, which is mono, can cause lymphoma. So this boy contracted lymphoma, and he died from the cancer that he got from the donor. Okay, so it was really sad. So Dr. Sher got he was very attached to the boy, but it got him inspired that he wanted to find a solution and a cure for this disease, and to find what caused this cancer. And through this, amazing breakthroughs happened that they figured out that these viruses cause cancer, and that helps in curing and in so many ways, So it became his mission. And he was 82 years old. He didn't stop working until till he died. And I was very privileged. My daughter had an issue, and they said, oh, Dr. Sher is going to see you. And he came in, and he had like this degenerative muscle disease, and literally he couldn't lift he had like a hunchback, like he couldn't actually lift his head. So to talk to him, I kind of had to go on my knees to be in eye contact with him. And he comes with an entourage of 10 guys, and he just worked till his last breath because he had a gift to give to the world, and he wanted to train and give that gift to as many as possible, right? When we see people that are passionate about something, they don't stop because they believe in it, and it gives them juice, it gets them excited. When you're doing things that you love to do, and you're involved in your Yeud, it's like shining a light in a dark room. It's like being in a cave and you're lost. Those kids that were lost in the cave, that they got stuck in that cave, and finally, I don't know, like when a big flashlight goes in there, it's like, they finally could see where they are, right? And then the first person to rescue them and take them out, and wow, what an excitement. The same thing, when you find what your Yeud is and you really fine tune it, and it brings such happiness into your life, and you're like on fire, you're passionate, and also what it does, it eliminates guilt. Because a lot of times we're doing things that is not really our Yeud, and we think we have to do it, you know what I'm saying? And it doesn't mean that we could all quit our day jobs. Like maybe sometimes our day jobs could be our Yeud, okay? But in some cases it's not. So you've got to find what your Yeud is to give you that inspiration, right, to keep going, and because you really do have a unique soul print, and it's a gift that you could give to the world that no one else can.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So then there's a bunch of different reasons, like why it's important to find it. It's like this vitality and purpose and energizing that if you don't have it, then you could really be lost and confused and not really know, like you have this kind of internal roadmap and of your self-knowledge. And then like she was saying from here before, you have your unique soul print and that moment, and you put those two things together, and that's what allows you to be able to walk through life and know what you're doing and how you're doing it. But if you don't know who you are and what your strengths are and what empowers you, and even what those challenges are and how you're working on all these different things about yourself, then you're not really like walking through life and using the moments to what you could elevate them to. And I've seen like amazing things, just like I think okay, so like I have like this a little plan. So I guess this is part of like a bigger picture, but this is one small aspect of it. It's like Rabbi Niven has this thing called an Elul plan, where you put on a piece of paper, and I think we're going to be doing this like a little like throughout the course, where you have the global Yeud and you have a Yeud statement. So it's like, let's say mine, like upholding Hashem's laws in the world through love and connection. So like, but every person's could be different, like a Kiddush Hashem or different things. So
so this is what you wrote.
Right, this is specifically what I wrote, yeah.
Right.
And so then you have these different things. You have a global one, a gender one, and then what we're working on tonight is your personal one. And then you also have a personal tikkun. So like there's this like piece of paper that's like you could, that you've come out from a lot of like deep thinking and different exercises that we're going to do, that you can actually put down these statements on a paper and kind of like even look at it like in the morning and be like, okay, cool, like that's it. It's not like every moment is going to match whatever, but like you have something inside of you to be able to walk through the day.
You have a plan.
Yeah. So it's really interesting. So, so it's so this is like taps into like one of my years, like to help inspire other people to lasting change and like working through that. So but one of the things, okay, so now I'm going to go into some of the different aspects of what Yeud is and like how it be expressed, because there's so many different ways since everyone is like so unique. So I like this article from Sara Yocheved Rigler. She's also a student of Rabbi Niven, and it's identifying your mission. And so I'm just going to read this part of it. It says, your mission can be interpersonal, such as counseling couples with troubled marriages. It could be scholarly, such as researching ancient Chinese culture, or an expression of your talent, such as painting landscapes or playing the violin. It can be concrete, such as establishing a home for Alzheimer's patients, or abstract, such as manifesting in the world the divine attribute of truth or patience. It can be large scale, such as inaugurating the recycling system in your city, or on a small scale, such as caring for your handicapped child with joy. You may have 2 or at most 3 different missions. So that's an important statement, that when you're looking through things, you could have actually 2 separate things and up to 3 things. And so this is also interesting, which can be consecutive, like you could actually finish one thing and then have a different thing that you're working on. I haven't really got there yet, or simultaneously working on 2 things together. And it's very important also, because sometimes we belittle ourselves. Like you think, I want to be a marriage counselor, but there's like 1,000 marriage counselors. Like, what am I really going to do? But no, your particular approach, your way of doing it is so unique, and you're going to help different people than anyone else is going to be able to help. Right. So it's, so even if yours is something that you're like, well, everyone else does this, or you could think I've heard, whatever, helping other people, they're like, this is so weird. Like, am I normal? I'm like, yes, that's amazing, by the way. Like, like everyone, like, you don't realize, like, how awesome you are, But, like, your things that you're attracted to, I don't know, like I was speaking to someone that's like, one of hers was like, empowering other people through praises, like through words. And I'm like, wow, like I would have never thought of that, you know, like, but to her, it's so
That's her
real.
mission.
And I'm like, wow, like, and she uses that with her children or like different things. And it's like, okay, that's really cool, you know? And so it's really like broad scale to be able to think really of all those experiences kind of like in your life that you connected to something. So
can I share with
yeah,
them for a minute
for sure.
my Yeud? So when I was doing this work 10 years ago with Rabbi Niven, I was with Rabbi Niven for about 2 to 3 years. So through some exercises, I extracted what we call a Yeud statement. And you're all going to come out after the 4 weeks, what we call a Yeud statement. It's going to sound like this. My Yeud is ... At the time, 10 years ago, was my Yeud is to inspire people through teaching and networking. Okay? I also discovered in the past 30 years of my life that I can make people laugh. So I realized that it's also part of my Yeud, and my Yeud is to help people connect, right, through laughter. Okay? I also noticed, because of a terrible tragedy that happened to me, but by the way, all these experiences shape us, and our mission changes with some experiences that happened to us, but I had lost my child, and I realized that through this grief journey that I'm going through, I'm able to really connect with others because I'm not afraid of being raw and real, and a lot of people are afraid of expressing emotion, but because I'm not afraid of that, it helps other people feel safe and comfortable to say, yeah, I'm having a rough day also, I'm really not managing with this, you know. So I was part of a bereaved group, and we have a WhatsApp group, and they're all like amazing, devout women. And they're like, Baruch Hashem, isn't it amazing that we lost our children, that we were zoche, that we merited, like, to have such angels in our life, that we were given this privilege to raise children that were meant to be here for a short time. And I get that part too, okay? But then the other part of it, how much it hurts and how tragic it is and how much we didn't want this, right? And how this is so shocking. And I just started just talking real, you know? And then women privately would message me saying, thank you so much, because we're not comfortable to say that we're really going through Gehinnom. We're really going through a really hard time, you know? But you being able to say it, and you're a rabbi's wife, and you're not afraid to say, this stinks, this is really hard, this is very sad, this is not easy, you know? It validates other people's emotions. So I'm noticing, for me, I'm just helping you, I'm just sharing this with you because to realize the process that I'm going through, because all of us are on a journey. It's not like I graduated mission school. I'm in the process, okay? And one of the things I'm realizing is that my mission is to help others grieve, you know, and I'm thinking that I want to go into the hospice direction and help families through end of life, because I've been there, and it's kind of interesting that I have found myself in the last few years in that situation. So Hashem has attracted moments that this gift that He gave me through this experience that transformed me, you understand? So I took this pain, and what I'm doing with it now is I'm giving and I'm elevating it. Or I spiral down and I go to a very low place, right? So it's important to identify these strengths and the missions, because you're going to be on fire. You know, like you're going to be passionate. And it's like, my husband was joking that when I first started learning Rabbi Niven, he was also taking Rabbi Niven. And the men, they had a men's group and a women's group, were complaining that their wife were getting too empowered. They're like, forget your Yeud and your mission, go do dishes, you know? So this is important, because our mission at time, the moment is to take care of your kids, and I want to save the whole world, and do end of life or whatever, or do comedy, stand-up comedy, or teach and inspire and help network. In the meantime, I have a 2.5-year-old that's dependent on me, you know what I'm saying? And I can't tell him, I'm sorry, my Yeud statement is, you know what I'm saying? So the Yeuds could be consecutive. Like for instance, my husband's been complaining. He's been writing this book for 15 years. Beautiful book called Creating Angels, how our thoughts create our reality, okay? It's very dynamic. And he's so upset because it's a gift of his, and he's passionate about it, and he's been knocking himself down. Why isn't this book out already? like I'm 55 years old. He was 55 yesterday. Happy birthday, husband, if you're watching. And he's upset with himself. And I said, listen, you have not been not doing your Yeud. Sometimes you have an idea for a book and it's got to wait till your kids grow up. You've been doing good. You've been helping your wife, you know. You've been raising your children. Life dealt us some cards we didn't expect, okay? So your Yeud sometimes is there on the back burner, and there's the right time for it. It's about timing also, okay? But even when you're not involved in that complete, like writing the book, he's still very involved in his Yeud, which is to inspire people, and you know what I'm saying? And he has this idea to write this book, and you know, he will get there, okay? So I know I keep interjecting.
No, I'm happy.
I can't take the
It's great.
Israeliness out of me, you know? You could leave Israel, but Israel doesn't leave you, you know?
No, it's interesting. But yeah, just a couple other caveats is that Rabbi Nima says that 33% of people, it's easy for them to find it. 33% of people have blockages, and you could work through those. And 33% of people, it takes a lot more to find. So I don't want it could take some work, and it's and okay, fine. So I want to go to the first question, and I think what's really I want to put this as a discussion question, because I guess what you were saying also about raw emotions. I've been learning about Brene Brown. I don't know if you heard of her. She speaks about vulnerability, and how vulnerability is what allows you basically to grow in through life. When you have shame about something, that is it's very stifling. So basically, I'm gonna ask this question, but if you could share what pops up for you or different things, it could help you and it could help other people around you. So the question is, if you had $1 billion, money wasn't an issue, and if you had let's say everything in your life was taken care of, your kids, your husband was happy, I don't know, whatever else is around you, and you had 6 hours a day to do anything that you wanted to do, how would you use your money and how would you use your time? So I'm going to give you actually 1 minute to write the thoughts down that come to your head, and then we'll talk about it.
There's a blank paper over there.
You can have it in your head if that's. Sometimes it helps people to write it down.
If you need, there's paper here. And should I give this out or not? Hold up.
Yeah. Just don't scratch.
Can we have a bunch of stuff?
Yeah,
don't
sure.
have
Yeah,
my
yeah,
other
sure.
world.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Great.
If you had all the money in the world and all the time, okay, what would you do?
Yeah, this is what I'm passionate about. And I do, but I wish I could do it 24/7.
I'm doing a commercial for Lara Bars. I love these. ברוך אתה ה' אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו.
Amen.
Physically, that's the stuff. I don't know why the whole book of I'm actually, we didn't have good toner, but I would like to copy paste it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's another one here. This is another. Okay, so you could, does anyone
Okay,
have
we're gonna-
anything that you
Anyone want to share? Ready to share with us?
Sure.
This thing is so
Great.
distracting.
I know, I'm like,
I know,
it's very
totally.
hard.
Start
I
over
don't like
there.
it, yeah.
I don't like it at all.
Whatever.
I'm wondering if we could bring it down.
Yeah, or bring it up, like back, I don't know.
Yeah, can you push it, yeah?
see.
It's just like it's totally
I know, it's
distracting.
very, sorry. Okay, wait, let's move it.
I just promised a few friends, okay, we'll put it on Facebook.
Then you'll start seeing that.
Is that better?
No, don't put me in there.
I'm sorry, okay.
Yeah, make it, yeah, perfect. Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay.
Rochelle, you're gorgeous, I actually want you in there. It's a good commercial for us. Come to Torch classes, and you'll be as gorgeous as her. Okay, so anyone want to share with us?
You don't have, oh, sure.
Is your last name, do you have a middle name?
Actually, that is my middle name. Also.
Okay, that's because I got confused. I was like,
For me, I wrote, these are just some words that came to mind: create, design, give back, take care of others through those gifts and those talents, express, share, continue learning Torah, grow, elevate, travel, explore.
Cool. Oh, that's awesome.
okay.
So there's, that's amazing. First of all, I realized there was one thing I wanted to explain the difference is that there's a universal spiritual experience. Like if you go to the
This is
Grand
so
Canyon.
important. Now you're not seeing it.
Sorry.
Yeah, so she's talking about, and this is very important to understand, there's a difference between a universal pleasure, like we all have to go to the Grand Canyon, and it's like, wow, we get that moment of like, this is so beautiful, right?
Yeah, and so the question is that, so everyone could feel like on a high from that, from a beautiful experience, or from traveling, or like from,
Childbirth, oh, not really, okay.
maybe, but it's not, it's only a Yeud moment if someone would ask you and say, well, you want to be like a tour guide for the Grand Canyon all day, one person would be like, yes, I want to give people that experience of like exploring nature, whereas another person would be like, no, I'll just come back here next year and be happy again, So like that's a difference between a universal spiritual experience and a personal spiritual experience. So it's just a specific thing.
One is universal and the other one?
So the universal is because everybody has like joy or like feels good or is on like a like a high from seeing that. But if you want to take that down to yourself and say, I want to do that all day long, every day, or I want to share it, or I want to bring it more, then that would be a personal thing.
Your personal Yeud. Like, I'm not so, like, artistic or, like, but I get inspired if I go to a museum, but I'm not necessarily going to, go delve into art, right? So that's not my Yeud, okay? I'm more like a person, right? So it's kind of like, we're trying to define, like, your personal Yeud. And we have more exercises that are going to help you get there. And anyone else that wanted to share something they wrote? Dikla, you want to share? Wait, you want to?
No, I didn't know if you wanted to go
I was
around or
sharing
just
here.
overall.
Yeah.
I was sharing here an experience that I had when I had time, because right now I'm so busy
Right.
working the whole day. But I used to do like volunteer service for the JCC, and it was a very simple volunteer time that I dedicated myself. But it was amazing experience of feeling.
Yeah.
Because I wake up early and I help the people to set up the food for kosher food and no kosher food to distribute to the old people here in the neighborhood. And every time I knock the door and an old person come and I had to help for something, and I saw the happiness in their face, and it was such an experience,
Okay.
and I could never do it again.
But if
In
you
like
had all
few
the time in
years
the
ago.
world, you'd be doing that, you feel?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was
Okay.
so I like to do volunteer service.
Okay.
But, when I have time.
Is it specifically for the elderly, or I'm curious?
No,
like,
it's volunteer too, because I used to do class for ESL for old people also, and I was very happy. So I like to volunteer. That's what I
And
like.
help
it,
others,
to
right?
help out. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't write it down, but I do volunteer.
that's okay. It doesn't matter. Volunteering isn't my year.
And
That's
I am
okay.
passionate about it though, because I do volunteer with the Israeli army.
Okay.
I go to Israel and I go to the military base, put my uniform, and I love doing it. Because I was a high school teacher, and this military are very young girls, you know, so I feel like I want to take care of all of them. You know what I mean?
Beautiful. So you want to share the rest of your list?
Okay, and then I
What would
would
you do?
travel, of course. I would take the next plane to Tel Aviv if I had a And I like to paint, read, study Torah, and cook. And those are things that I'm really
Beautiful.
passionate about. And I like to share. I don't like to learn something in Torah. Like Sara and I sometimes sit together and we read, and she said, "What did you get?" And then I tell her what message I got out of it. So we kind of share that.
Beautiful.
Same way when I cook. I like to tell people, and they said, "This is really good. Okay, this is how you make it."
So it sounds like it's something that, like, through those things, it's like a deeper thing of you're wanting to share and maybe relate to, like, share what your knowledge or relate to other person.
Well, I
or
mean,
no?
what good is knowledge if you keep it to
Yeah.
yourself? You
Uh-huh.
know, kind of.
So it's like you want to share this.
Yeah.
You
Share
want
the
to share, but
knowledge,
it's
share the
through
experience.
different,
Yeah,
through
different
different
things,
areas.
yeah.
So that, I think that's like if you're looking for something, that could be more of a point to look at. So.
Right. Shira, you want to share? Livy, you want to share?
It's not really sharing. I just want to like answer in a question with a question. Because like when I'm hearing
Gosh, you're
here,
Jewish.
when I hear everything, so I'm just thinking, what do we even mean when we say Yeud? What are we supposed to do in life? What we are? Like, I don't know, like
Good question.
like painting and art. I don't think
Perfect.
it's going to be my Yeud. And it's like
Okay.
also what you said, like you wrote lately at your birthday, that like the birthday is a very happy day because it means that the God needed you here. This is why He brought you here.
Right.
So for me, like when I'm talking about Yeud, it's just one, like helping my kids and being nice to my kids are not my Yeud. It's supposed to be, I see something more bigger
Okay.
that God put me here to do something
Right.
like the other couldn't. So.
Right.
So I don't really understand how it goes with Yeud.
Right.
what we
So
talk-
Yeud, like, okay, so you have your gender Yeud, which as a mom is to nurture and love your kids and raise them and, you know, to be mensches, right? And we're, in this context, right, we're looking more for your personal Yeud, right? Like something that juices you, that gets you very excited. Like for someone, it could really be painting, you know?
Is
like,
it my Yeud? if
No,
I like
for
to
you
paint?
not.
No,
Probably
if I
not.
like to paint,
But-
I love to paint. Is it my Yeud to paint?
So it's a good question.
know.
I
It's a
took
good
it
question.
as an
No, I'm just-
exercise.
I have everything, so it
Yeah.
makes me
Yeah.
think, is it my Yeud to
Right.
travel if I, you know, what is
Right.
this? I don't think it's
Right,
my
so,
Yeud.
Usually it has a deeper mission. Usually
Right.
there's something
Mission, it's a
behind
bigger
that.
thing.
right,
That's my
so there is a
Yeud.
deeper, right, you're right.
A deeper sense of purpose behind the painting.
Exactly.
It's not just that
Yeah.
you're painting because you enjoy the painting. It's like, I don't know, I guess like just using her example, like maybe like sharing and giving through
that
that
knowledge to someone else.
through that experience, or
Right.
painting to give joy to another person and have a beautiful
So
home or
basically,
Jewish artwork.
my
like-
Yeud is to give in a way that I can.
But
Exactly.
it's not
Not-
everyone's specifically to give. It could be one person's Yeud
To give.
right.
Painting.
It's not always giving though.
Yeah,
Like,
it could be Yeud for some.
You're
for sure.
giving by your teaching and that. You're giving
Yeah,
by
yeah, yeah.
painting. So basically, it's
Okay, there's a difference, like she was saying, between universal pleasurable moments. We're not asking you if you had all the leisure time in the world. We're talking about if you had all the time in the world, what would you do to contribute to, so to say, not necessarily humanity, like what's your gift to give to the world? If money wasn't an issue and time is not an issue. Because why are we saying that? Because people say, oh, I got to take care of my kid. I got to work at the office. Like, you know what I'm saying? So they always get blocked by it. So this question is just there to like, as if, like theoretically, you didn't have that, okay? What is something that is a strength of your quality that gives you tremendous joy as well, okay? That when you're engaged in it, you're like, wow, I could do this all day long. Like I know that I love connecting with people, okay? And I really could forget time because of it, you know? And I know that it's a strength that I have, right? And that I could brighten someone's day, I could make a call, I'm very good at networking. So it's definitely my Yeud, I enjoy it too, you see what I'm saying? Now, for some people, like painting is their Yeud because they're all about the arts and bringing God's name into the world through the art, or educating others, or doing art therapy. You understand? So it's got to have, like you're saying, a deeper meaning. We're not just saying like, what do I love to do? I love watching soap operas 20 hours in a row. But that's not my Yeud. I mean, I would love to binge on Netflix, you know, if no one interrupted me, right? But we're talking about something, you want to help define it? Like, that's deeper than that, let's just say.
There's a
that.
difference between self-care and Yeud. Like,
Yeah.
everyone needs self-care in their life. You all need, like,
You all
everyone
need a
needs
break.
a break, but it's different than that.
Okay.
So,
Okay, so anyone want to share a thought that came to them from that question? If Limo, you have any thoughts? If you had all the time? Yeah. Yeah, like you didn't have to work, you really had the time to do what you're really passionate about.
Passionate. I'm passionate about many things. One thing, I don't know, I will build a school for kids that don't have anything that they can, הם לא יכולים להרשות לעצמם כלום.
That they don't have the means for it. Okay, that's beautiful, okay? That's beautiful. Anat, you want to share something? A thought, Dana?
You have a good one.
Good to have a friend.
I didn't get
Can
very
I
far.
steal it? Can I steal it?
She went to the beach. I'm just at the beach. I don't know. I have a lot of money, so that's where I'm going to be. I don't know what I'm going to do there, but that's where it's going to
It's a
be.
great deal from your house
Yeah.
to the beach.
That was my first thought, and I said, "Really? Now you have to think." I said, "Okay."
You know, when
So
we're
I'm thinking I would go and learn homeopathy, Bach flowers, or like something to help people, but not in the traditional way. Something.
to make them more wholesome, to help people be more whole.
Yeah, I love homeopathy. I think it's
Beautiful.
the best.
Beautiful.
It's very effective.
I think that I have a one-track mind in my thing. I think it's always been my family, and I spent the first 30 or 40 years of being married, maybe more than that, raising a disabled child, and I thought that was my life,
Right.
even though I had other kids. And after he passed away, my life has always been, what can I do to help the rest of them?
Right.
And I think if I had money, that's where it would go. I'd buy
Right.
one a house or whatever they needed,
Right.
and kind of, they have a lot of kids, I would help them educate their kids. And now, and that's the money part. And the time part, I do have as much time as I need now. And I think most of it is listening to people if they need help.
Beautiful.
Or talking to my young married grandchildren and letting them talk out their problems.
Beautiful.
And giving them the advice that they say Bubby always has, you know.
I love it.
What do you say? What would you do? How would, you know, and I think that has been my life always. And I'm
Beautiful.
wondering, do I have another mission?
By the way, it could be that is your mission, meaning it doesn't have to be an outwardly
No, I
mission.
understand that, but that's the way
Let's
I've
say
always
someone has
felt
a
that.
special, like you brought up, a special needs child. Their mission is to raise that child with joy. They're given the situation, they're in the moment, and are they going to do it with joy? How are they going to elevate this situation?
Right.
How
Well, that-
they're going to better the life of this child and raise themselves through that experience. So
Well, that's what I-
sometimes our Yeud is not like, oh, I want to change the whole world, you know what I'm saying? Be the president of the United States of America.
Never wanted
you know?
that.
Right? So
And I
it
think,
could
I mean,
be
money has no value unless you're helping somebody with it.
Right.
So to have money, unless you can give it away,
Yeah, the question about the money was just to free your mind to say, because a lot of people say,
yeah.
I can't really do what I believe in or what I'm passionate about or this gift that I have, you know, because I'm too busy being in a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah, well, I
you
went
know?
through those years too, but I mean,
Exactly.
at this stage of life that I have the time, and thank God I can, you know, if I can help them and it makes them happy, or if they have a problem and they can talk to me,
Beautiful.
that is, I mean, I'm looking to see if I have another mission. I mean,
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
if I'm here, I must have
Could
one.
be, no, but that could be like
It
that you're
could
like that
be, it has
listening
been.
ear that is able to
Well, right.
help. Yeah, I mean that's definitely.
But it looks like there should be something more.
It doesn't have to be.
Well, I know it doesn't have to,
necessarily.
but-
Like,
No,
if
but
you
it
find
could be that
something.
if there's a feeling of like, that it's not satisfactory, that it could be that there's another mission now because timing changed, the kids grew up.
Right.
And I think that's what happens, like, I'm in my 40s, you know what I'm saying? My kids are, growing up, and I'm empty nesting. I have 3 kids at Israel and 3 kids at home, so I feel like I'm empty nesting,
Yeah,
So I start to think about, oh my gosh, so if your whole life was just raising the kids and then the kids don't need you, you do need to figure out what is your Yeud, And you do see a lot of women in crisis because they did devote their whole life to their children and their family, and they feel frustrated because their kids left and they don't even call them, So, that was the right Yeud at the right time. It was to raise their children, right? Simultaneously, sometimes you could be involved, like I'm raising, young kids, and I'm still teaching because it juices me. I love it. It inspires me, right? My Yeud is to inspire others, right? So, and I still love networking and helping people. I do have this idea that I want to be a stand-up comedian and go on the road. I'm serious. It's not the right time right now. It is my Yeud for sure. I know that Hashem gave me a gift, okay? And I would love to do women issues, tackle real stuff through laughter. And it's just not the right time right now because who's going to change my son's diaper? So you understand? It's there. It's there for me, okay? Anyone else? Any light bulbs went on? You want to share, Hannah?
When she was talking, I felt like mine light up because I love to listen to people. Like, I don't talk that much. I'm kind of quiet, but I love to listen. I love to smile at people and compliment people and make them feel loved and comfortable. Especially like when they come to our house. I love that.
Beautiful.
Kind of. So I'm probably not a good speaker, but I will probably kind of create something so I could bring people together and make them, like you said, feel comfortable, feel loved, feel like someone is listening to them,
Yeah.
Kind of like that, because I think I came up with that point because I went through I had a very hard life at some point, and I felt like empty and lonely, and suddenly people just came up and kind of made me feel like I'm worth it, I'm valuable, and I'm here for some reason, And when I came out from that stage in my life, I kind of see it from the top, and I'm more sensitive to these people, understand?
Yeah.
So when someone comes to me and tells me something about anything that's happening to them, I feel like I'm here for you. You can talk to me.
You have
And
empathy also
it
because,
makes me happy, and it makes me like I could be listening to people the whole day.
Okay, so you sound like you're pretty in tune with your Yeud, and we're going to fine-tune it. Next week, we're going to write Yeud statements, okay? And we're going to get there. I'm actually bringing poster boards, and you're going to write your Yeud statement in big, big letters, okay? And there's going to be other things on that poster, but it's going to be real for you, okay? You're going to have like a roadmap and a plan. Any other insights? Dikla, anyone else want to share anything?
So sorry about my voice. It's cute. But I felt something about, I felt your frustration about getting the Yeud. And then I realized I do have a lot of things that I like to do. Some of them more, some of them I'm really good at, but I really resent it. I don't want to do it. And, some of them I'm not that good, but I'm really passionate about it and I want to do it, so I have to work really hard. But I realized that what I really want to do in life is create a place for people, create a place, a time that is so special. Because I remember as a kid that there were places, there were classes, there were like different times that I went, and it was a place that I really was looking for the whole week to go to.
Wow.
I mean, I remember like my piano lessons, I wanted to kill the teacher. I was so grateful. I did not want to do it. But I remember this dance teacher that I couldn't wait the whole week for this dance class. This teacher made me feel so, and I feel like whatever I do with all these passions that I have, I want to be that person, create that kind of place
Environment
for
for others.
different. And I have it with little kids. I have it with adults. I feel that I had it throughout my life. It's so funny. I got a phone call from people I worked with 16 years ago at a summer camp. They revived this group, and I got this phone call, really random phone call from a guy that was in the group that I was Rosh Mishlachat. And he said, I still remember these things that you did for us, and more than anything, you were a friend and you listened. And I don't remember any of that. Wow. But at that moment, I felt so happy that I could be that person for someone.
Right.
And I feel like it almost doesn't matter which one of these things I'll choose, maybe all of them, maybe some of them, but I would like it to be that special place for kids, for anyone.
Right.
That when they come there, they cannot wait to come because they feel talented, appreciated, pretty. It's like I get something out of them that they have been waiting that somebody will expose it in them.
Wow. So my rabbi is an expert on, like, you could write out a bunch of things that you're passionate about, and he could figure out if there's a commonality, like a theme between everything, and he could extract a Yoke Statement, one. And sometimes there's 3 missions, and he says, really, in the end, it's all one. Like, meaning they all stem from this tool that you were given. So, like, for instance, Chana, I really loved how honest you were. So I'm not going to be a great speaker, because I'm really a better listener. Now, why do you think Hashem did that? He did that on purpose. He did it on purpose that you're not going to be this big because you really are available to listen. You understand? The tools were given to you. Your personality is bidiyuk, given to you to succeed in your mission. Okay? So let's say your mission is to create a safe haven. So Hashem gave you that personality where people feel connectable with you, and that you're good at creating and creating. You know what I'm saying? You are given those tools. Sometimes when you don't know what your mission is, you're like, I don't even have the tools. It's because you don't really know what your mission is. But once you start thinking about it, you say, that's so interesting. I do help a lot of people. I do. Like, I could tell Revi what her mission is, but by the way, it's so much easier sometimes, 20/20 on others. But just like, can I just throw it out there? Obviously, it's not fine-tuned, but you're very good at helping others, right? And giving a safe haven to a lot of people, like your house has been like a shelter. But what is the Yeud there? Maybe it's deeper than that, right? Helping, networking, connecting, who knows? Now, maybe teaching, there's something, we all have something, and it's not necessarily open up a school or something big, it could be an idea. Like, I had a friend, she was obsessed with Shmirat HaLashon. Like, her mission in life was to bring awareness about negative speech. So she always created games, kid games, and cards, and wherever environment she was, she'd bring it in somehow, because it was something. It was her Yeud. She was brought down here to the world just for that. Maybe someone has, their Yeud is to help people disconnect from their devices, like help addicts, like internet addicts, and they're good at that. They came up with a method and tools, and sometimes it's simple. Like, I love it's like, and it's not simple at all. Like connecting is really, when it comes down to it. Connection is really what we all want, right? When it comes down to it. That's what we're here. When we're not feeling connected to ourselves, to Hashem, to people around us, to our family members, we're in a lot of pain. So if you and your Yeud can help others connect, it's like, what a gift,
It could also be like learning a piece of Torah. That's something that Rabbi Niven also says, is that it's like a certain type of learning that you really enjoy. It doesn't
like, I love Kabbalah. Some people are not turned on by Kabbalah at all. They don't like mystical stuff. They like law. They want halacha,
Right.
And so it could be something like that. Like,
And you don't have to even, like he said, like there's some people that are, like, they just are learning, and that's their Yeud, and doing that, and that's like, they're not even necessarily giving to any, I don't know.
It's called the Tudaim in Israel. They have these people that are academics.
Okay. As I lived in Israel for over 20-some years. I was an educator, elementary school educator, and I loved educating. Even as a child, I just liked to play teacher. When I was in one of my hishtalmiyot, we have to take off a year, and they read everyone's palms, and he said, "You are a teacher." Not that not that I wanted to be home for vacation with the kids. My thing is I'm a teacher. I love teaching. Even now when I'm not teaching anymore and I take my grandchildren to Hebrew school, to the Hebrew chugim in the afternoon, and I see the teacher, all of a sudden I miss it. But, I don't teach anymore, but now I raise my children, educating my children. Now I'm educating my grandchildren.
Beautiful.
But at the same time, my mission was, even because my husband passed away 2.5 years ago, my mission as when I was married to uplift, I believe Hashem gave me that mission also, to uplift my husband's soul, that when he did pass away, he would be okay in Gan Eden. So I uplifted him. Now it's my mission to return, and what I'm really, I go to class almost every day except Wednesday even, to learn Torah. I have to.
Beautiful.
My soul is burning.
Wow.
And at the same time, I want to give it to my grandchildren.
Beautiful.
But that is and if I had the money, I would buy a Sefer Torah in my husband's chut.
Beautiful.
And even maybe go to yeshiva and Yerushalayim and just stay
Beautiful.
there. But that's but it's
Passion.
education.
Yeah.
It's my education.
Okay, we're gonna fine tune it next week, exactly what you. Someone brought up something so important. It's so important to know this. It doesn't mean if you're good at something that it's your Yeud. Okay, I always find myself involved in communal events because I'm good at coordinating and stuff, and I hate it. I just realized it, and I realized that it stresses me like crazy. So I love the challah bake event, but I don't want to be on the committee for it necessarily every year. And it doesn't reflect bad on the challah bake. I just realized the other day, I was like, you know what I'm saying? And it was like a light bulb went in my head. I was like, wow, I'm good at organizing and being part of committees and events, but I really don't like it, And my husband forbid me because I became so scary at home during the time I was involved. So I was like, okay. It's like, I realized, that's not my Yeud, So many times we're forcing ourselves to be a round peg to fit into a square, shape, and we're not. You know what I'm saying? What's beautiful about Yeud is self-acceptance. It's like, I should be giving classes, I should be giving to the world. No, you're giving to the world by listening. I love what you brought. It really, it resonated with me, and I appreciate everybody sharing. So it is 9:20. We're
Maybe
gonna
we'll give these for
like
to do
homework.
at home. So these are basically it's the first question is when I do these activities, some 1 second. I'm trying to realize what I wrote.
Deciphering.
Basically, write the whole exercise is write 5 to 10 experiences in your past that you have felt a Yeud moment. And so that's really the first one. And
So basically, let me go over this exercise for those on the that are watching online. You write down. Is it the first one?
no, it's the second one actually. But it's if you're gonna do one, I would do that.
Okay, so there's the first one. When I do these activities, I feel some of all these words: energized, powerful, joy, transcendent, motivated, connection, pleasure, passion, my true self, strong. Second exercise. Listen to this exercise because it's important. It's really going to help you fine-tune it. Looking in the past, I felt a Yeud moment. What's a Yeud moment? A moment where you felt great pleasure. You're like, wow, I was brought to the world for this. Okay? I'm not talking about, I listened to Mozart. I'm talking about not a universal moment, a moment unique to you. Everybody enjoys a really good piece of music. I'm talking about something unique to you. Okay? Write down 5 memories, all the way from childhood to today. 5 memories of moments, of memories that were like, you were involved in something that juiced you, that energized you, that you were like, wow, felt good. Okay? And then we answered the third one, and you could just write it down. The second exercise is most important to write the memories. Through the memories, what we're going to do next week is find if there's a common theme running between all your memories, because that's going to give us clues into your personal Yeud, okay? So, and this 4 classes, look, me and her, we've been with Rabbi Niven for years. You can't delve into global Yeud, gender Yeud, all that. We're really going to focus on personal Yeud, your personal Yeud. You know your Yeud as a mom. We get that. We know our Yeud, our job as a wife, as a member of a community. But what we're going to focus on the next 3 weeks is your personal gift, your strength, your qualities to give to the world. And God willing, it should give us such amazing clarity, like mamish lighting a dark room. I just want a technical, announcement. We just realized we have a conflict. On November 6th, not next week, but the following week. Right, the 3rd class. I'm going to be in Israel. God willing, my daughter is having a baby. So, Baruch Hashem, it's so exciting. And Sara is going to be here, and then there's a conflict. She's not going to be in town that day. We're going to skip, if you could write down, that we're going to skip November 6th. We're going to have November 13th and November 20th. Okay, so the series will just end November 20th. We will always try to record it, but you see, it's not the same. Facebook is not seeing this and not hearing this. So I think there's, so November 6th, no class, November 13th, November 20th. We're going to have a total of 4. Another announcement is that if you want, Chaya Sara has been trained to be a Yeud coach. Like, I was learning with Rabbi Niven, but then he took women who wanted to further this more, and she took a Yeud certification program with him. And she does one-on-one counseling, coaching, how to find your destiny. Yeud coach, they're like destiny coach. So if you really don't know where you're going, she could try to help you get there. So you could contact Chaya Sara, take her email.
I think it's on the paper.
It is on the paper? Okay, perfect. My email's on here, Chaya Sara's email on here. You could also, I'm thinking I would love to, I hope everybody signed in because I want to create an email group, and I might make a WhatsApp group. I'm going to create a WhatsApp group that you can't post because we don't want to bombard each other, but it might be a reminder or a homework, like think about this, okay? And I'll try to sell you things you don't need. So if everybody signed in, please? Yeah? Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to help us express our Yeud, and in turn, I'm hoping that you guys will find your Yeud, and you will, because you're already there, because you're here. Anyone in this class, really? I think that you said, I think what I picked up has to do with connection and giving to others, So thank you, everybody. Shabbos Project, this Shabbat, I think Rambam is going to be a